Welcome. We're here.
We can do it.
I've never had to restart it. That's my first time ever restarting. Okay. Welcome to DFW Professional Spotlight. Today's a little twist. We came down I-35 and we're in Central Texas in the great city of Waco. And I am pleased to present Mary Margaret Croft with Carpenter and Croft Law Firm. Welcome.
Thanks, Brad. It's good to be here.
So, here at DFW Professional Spotlight, came down the road and we want to talk with a lawyer. I think it's very important for businesses and for professionals to know good lawyers, whether it's around entity structure, could be estate planning. There's a lot of useful things to have good lawyers, and that's what Carpenter and Croft brings. So, Mary Margaret, tell me a little bit about you and what law you practice.
Okay, sure, Brad. Our firm is a small family-oriented firm. There are just a few of us that are attorneys here, and then we take care of a wide variety of clients. We've got real estate and construction professionals, and then we've got a lot of folks that we're doing estate planning for, like you mentioned, wills and trusts. And then also we handle a lot of contracts and new business startup and corporate formation. So in a way, it's kind of a one-stop shop. So you've got, a couple of buddies who open a business and they need to make sure they've got insurance and everything set up for their formation documents, but they also want to make sure their families are taken care of, and so we help them with their estate planning as well. So that's a little bit about our firm.
That's awesome. So, well, you have your own firm. There's some lawyers that go the corporate route, some that work for other firms. You started a firm. What's the story behind that, and what's the why?
We did. So the owners of our firm is Carpenter and Croft. That's actually my dad and I. So it's, when I say it's family oriented, I mean it. And so I had worked with him before, and so we kind of had the opportunity to go out on our own. And there were a lot of things that we saw falling through the cracks with other law firms. And one of the biggest things is, here in Waco, at least, there's a lot of development happening, and of course in Texas in general, so much development and growth that we saw a lot of things happening very quickly without the proper documentation, and we really wanted to fill that gap and make things complete for everybody. And so we launched Carpenter and Croft in 2016 and have enjoyed it since. So.
Fantastic, and you bring up some great points. I mean, Waco is experiencing immense amount of growth, and you guys are providing a need, helping provide, whether it's a good structure to an entity, good contracts to protect those businesses. I mean, just drive downtown, and downtown's not what it was 10 years ago.
No.
And so with that, there are growing pains. So can you speak to some of those growing pains? What are some of the issues that you're seeing with business owners that are looking to start, looking to grow, possibly get into real estate, whatever? What are some of the struggles you are seeing that you're providing solutions for?
Yeah, well, one of the big issues that we see is just a person who has started a business, or a group of friends who've started a business, or a mom and pop, whatever the case may be, and they started and became extremely profitable overnight. Yeah. And so they're hitting the ground running, they're working on their business, and that's all they have time for. And maybe they've got families and other things going on as well, real life. And so they don't have time to take care of all the underlying details. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that we love to do is say, hey, let me handle the details, and you focus on what it is that your business is doing, so that you can be laser focused on what you do, and let me take care of the details so you don't have to think about them and you can sleep at night. So that's one issue. Is just that pace of life is so hectic and busy. Another is cultivating professional relationships. So we try and act as a team with an individual or an entity's professionals. So whether you've got CPAs, insurance, real estate agents, this whole team. And so we're kind of seamless of, hey, have you talked to your CPA about X? Okay, let's get them on the phone. Let's talk about that. So I really encourage people to have good relationships with their local banker, with their insurance broker, whoever it is, because we're all working together as a team to make sure that your entity is functioning and up and running. Yeah. So really cultivating those relationships is the number two.
No, it's kind of bringing that little, a lot of old family offices in Dallas where a lot of money, that's how they become successful. They have those teams around them.
Right.
So often I throw curveballs to my guests on the show. So here's a curveball for you. Now, you talk about getting through all the specifics and being very detail oriented.
Right.
You and I have had these conversations. You've done stuff for me personally, and I've seen the value in it. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and they'll go online for legal documents. They'll go online for insurance. And I know in the insurance world there are plenty of holes, and I can speak to that, and I can tell them why they need to go through a broker. So I'm going to frame that to you. Why should entrepreneurs and business owners go through a law firm like Carpenter and Croft and not your online website for documents?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll tell you what we see a lot, and hopefully that'll answer the question. Often, a lot of the folks that are coming in have set things up on LegalZoom or, Rocket Lawyer, whoever else, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with them per se. The problem is they're not looking at the holistic picture of all that you have.
Yeah.
And so they are also trying to, you're clicking through on buttons, and it may not be something that you actually need. For instance, I've had several clients come in and they formed an LLC or a PLLC, and one of the first things that we have to undo is the one that they formed in Delaware or North Carolina or wherever through LegalZoom or Rocket Lawyer or whomever, because had they talked to a person, we would be able to tell you, oh, you don't need that. They're going to nickel and dime you. That Secretary of State is extremely expensive, or that Chancellor, whomever, and they charge an annual fee. Texas doesn't do that. Here's what we can do. You don't need them to provide that registered agent service. And so one of the things we did when we started Carpenter and Croft was actually create an LLC structure that we intentionally made cheaper than LegalZoom, because we want to cultivate that relationship and we want to help you avoid mistakes that you can't afford. And so that's really, like, we want to help things not fall through the cracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple things that stand out is want to create that relationship, that partnership, bringing that added value that's needed, especially just kind of in the litigious world we're in, complex. I mean, look at what's going on. So completely understand that. And I'll frame this next question to you. With complexities, not only are you a lawyer, but you're a business owner. So as a business owner, what are some advice you have to maybe some entrepreneurs that you tell yourself and that you can also tell your clients? So what are some things you're seeing or some advice you have?
Yeah, as a small business owner myself, like you said, it's easy for me to get in the weeds of what I do and not kind of take inventory of how all my systems are working. So one of the best things you can do is when you're getting started, or if you're taking inventory midway, midstream, things that, it's essential that you do that, kind of take inventory of your systems and outsource where you can, delegate to trusted professionals where you can. But really, just take that time to review your systems, because once you get it set up correctly, it's like a train. You put it on the track and it goes. And so part of that is, we like to say, let us help you set it up correctly, and then you off to the races. Like, go do what you do and do it well. And so, I think especially in my practice too, I'm taking inventory of systems and constantly tweaking and adjusting, and then put it on that track and let it go. So
awesome. And got another question for you. So, say someone listening and they're like, Waco, I want to get plugged in. I want to be a part of the community, whether they live here already or they live in Dallas. Do you have some recommendations for people to get plugged in? Maybe some good resources about Waco?
There's a lot of places. So Waco has a wonderful chamber. So the Waco Chamber is amazing, and there's several area chambers just real close by that are great as well. The Waco Chamber has actually created kind of a subset called the Waco Young Professionals.
Awesome.
And they meet, they have lunch and learns, we've got all kinds of fun things, and so that's a great place to meet people, hear about other businesses, and get connected. They also have a program called Leadership Waco that I think is replicated by chambers across Texas. And so whether it's Leadership Belton, Leadership Dallas, all those kinds of things, I think that's a great way to meet and hear more about your city and understand. So I love that you asked that question, though, because I do think it's so important to be connected with others in your area, and even if it's over a Zoom call or a Teams call, you know, whatever, as long as you're getting plugged into your area and figuring out how you can help and how you know everything kind of works together. So
I'm from a town similar size, and I'm like jealous of the energy that is coming from Waco, from local business owners like you, and I wish that same thing happened to my hometown, because it is truly extraordinary. You're a part of some great deals, and you have some great clients, you have great connections, and Waco's doing incredible stuff. Kind of make it a little bit personal. You and your family, what's some, you know, I'm from Dallas. If I would come to Waco for the day, what should I do?
Well, you can't come to Waco and not go to Magnolia. That
Yeah.
would just be rude. So, and honestly, I mean, talk about a good business model. Everything that they do is done so well. So it's both fun and it's a good learning experience. So I would definitely hit up Magnolia Table. There's lots of great restaurants. We've got several barbecue joints in the area that just hit Texas Monthly. So go head up Hellberg. Lots of fun places, and goodness, there's so many things to do. It's hard to say.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And how I wrap up every show, what's your, you know, we're on an elevator, and you jump in, and I go, hey, what do you do? So what's your 30-second elevator pitch?
So my elevator pitch is I'm an attorney with Carpenter and Croft. I do real estate, estate planning, I do contracts, and really anything on paper that you can think of that you need review for. One of the things that I love to do is help you avoid mistakes that you can't afford. I love to help you save money and get things done efficiently and well.
Hey, you heard that. Avoid mistakes you can't afford. So
right.
It's been a pleasure, Mary Margaret. Thank you for joining the show. This version of Central Texas Professional Spotlight coming down the road here. Stay tuned for our next episode and our next professional. And it's so thankful having you.
Yeah,
Thank you.